Heck_throw_away says, I found a note on my workstation that read, "You are incredibly beautiful." Aw, nice. Nothing too bad and nothing threatening. I got into my coworker's car later to get a ride home and started talking to him about it. I laughed and made fun of the anonymous writer because I had always made it known that I was off the market to my now husband. My coworker wanted nothing to do with the conversation and had even become visibly upset. Turns out not only was it him, but he had been in trouble for stalking a different female coworker. He would show up to wherever she was outside of work after he agreed to drive her home and would drive her by her house to see if she was home. You're triggered.
Yeah. That's my biggest fear.
Really? Yeah,
That's my biggest fear.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
That's my biggest fear. That actually, this actually kind of happened to my friend's friend.
Oof.
It was really bad.
Do we want to disclose or?
Well, like, no, I won't go into too much detail, but basically they were outside her apartment and they like filmed things.
Yeah,
like I just.
Yeah.
Those people are just the worst. If you're one of those people, you know you are.
Yeah, that's too. Yeah, no, stop.
This is Stanley_Leverlock. This was when I was much younger and invincible. Oh yeah, okay. About an hour into a cave I was going through, a narrow chasm that was just wide enough to turn sideways and slide through it. If you took a cross section of the chasm, it would look like a series of hourglass shapes stacked on top of each other. The top was wide, it narrowed greatly near my chest, wide by my hips, and then narrowed by my feet. About 30 feet into the chasm, the bottom drops away and I have to press my feet outward against the walls of the chasm to hold me up while I'm still turned sideways, sliding through the upper narrow portion. I can't really see my feet or what I'm pressing against to hold me up, so I'm kind of just like feeling my way forward. Eventually, one foot slips, immediately followed by the other, and I drop down a few inches and catch myself on my wrists and elbows along with the bottom of my rib cage on the skinny part of the hourglass. Okay, it's long.
Yeah.
My position won't give me enough leverage with my arms to pull myself up, so I'm feeling around with my feet for something to stand on. I'm concerned but not freaking out, but I'm also not able to find something to stand on. Eventually my arms start getting tired and I start sliding deeper into the skinny part of the hourglass. As I slide lower, I realize that each time I exhale, I drop down an inch, and the skinny part of the hourglass started to prevent me from inhaling. This realization that I can't breathe, feeling freely triggered a bit of panic, and I started frantically kicking, looking for something to stand on, which just causes me to slide deeper. So I'm starting to freak out and I'm stuck taking half breaths. So I'm thinking I'm either going to get stuck and suffocate, or I'm just going to pass out and drop down into this chasm that I can't see the bottom of. I don't know why it dawned on me, but I put one foot against one wall and the other foot against the opposite side and just pressed as hard as I could to give myself leverage to put myself up and catch my breath. I ended up just using that feet against the wall method to just scoot my way forward until I got to where the floor came up and I could stand on it.
Well, it's a good bloody thing that he's invincible then.
That was a long one.
That was a long one. I had a hard time. I actually had a very hard time. Congratulate, that was really well done.
I was like following that one. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, but I had a hard time kind of like visualizing that in my brain about how the hourglass, like how he was falling down the hourglass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And I was kind of like, what was freaking me out was like, or what was kind of making me laugh in my head was like, imagine if the floor was actually this close and his feet were like just there. So
well, because I thought like, does he mean like this is one side of the hourglass, this is the other side, but then it's like he's going into the.
I think so. I think it was.
But how does that happen?
The way I saw it was like he was kind of shimmying down and he was like falling down this, and the chasm
so it's
here.
like I understand.
Like,
I understand. Okay.
He was the sand in an hourglass.
I got you. Writer Samson says, I was chilling in a hammock, very nice, and my family started yelling at me to run away. Turns out there was a bear right next to me. I slowly walked away and the bear ate some berries by the hammock.
Just a bear chilling out.
Just a bear chilling out. You know what? Actually though, you know, I do really like me some bears. Like I think.
Yeah, you like you some bears?
Yeah.
Berenstein bears?
Yeah, Berenstein bears. No, but I'm serious. I feel like I've always been really good with animals, and I think I would trust my capabilities of like chilling it out. And it's like, I'm not threatening you, Mr. Bear or Mrs. Bear, whatever.
As long as they can see you, apparently. Like as long as they if you're like in a closed open forest and you just show up on them, they'll think you're something awful or something like that. There was like a documentary about this. But if you're like far away and there's a field or whatever, they know you're there, they'll just kind of like check
because you know what, I feel like if I was a bear, and that's the thing, like if I saw you fully and I saw what you were doing, I know as a bear, like I will mess you up. Like if you want some of this, like you can have some of this, but like you will lose, right? But if you're like, you know, doing stuff that I'm not aware of, that's when I start to get skeptical and as my bear self, and I'm like, okay, well, hey, what are you doing? Are you gonna come after me?
You're really like diving into the psyche of a bear right now. What if he's insecure? Okay. Like, you're just like, okay, here we go. Here's the motivation. Are you such an actor? All right. Take down his shield says, not one post, but a whole account, okay? There was a dude here who became obsessed with the idea of quantum immortality. Cool thing. I don't completely understand it, but it was essentially that when you die, your consciousness still exists and goes into a parallel universe where you didn't die, so essentially you live forever. He became so afraid of this uncertainty, and the idea of living forever terrified him to no end, so he started questioning whether or not to kill himself to finally figure out the answer. This is like Inception. His last post was pretty much him just saying he was gonna go through with it. Very tragic and scary to read. What did I just read? What did I just read? Oh my god, that's so sad. That's literally Marion Cotillard in Inception. Just being so obsessed with the idea of like what happens that they just go and figure it out.
Well, no,
That's
but I think
terrifying.
Inception though, the thing about Inception was she wasn't.
It was a dream world, yeah.
She wasn't convinced that she was in her reality.
Exactly.
She had to escape her reality.
Yeah.
Whereas this person believes that there's just endless reality.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I understand that, but it's the same sentiment of like I have to do this drastic thing to understand this. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Okay. I get you. I get what you're saying. Yeah. I would just prefer the spinning top method if it was me.
I don't know. That movie messed me up.
Yeah. Zanky, my dog died. About 6 months later, my next door neighbor asks about my dog. She hadn't seen her, but she could hear her walking around my front room and slumping into the front door where she loved to sleep. I had to tell her she died months ago. Her face lost all of her color. She asked if I was joking. No. My girl was gone. Instead of being scared, I just smiled and said, I'm glad she's not completely gone. That seemed to make my neighbor relax. She loved my dog along with most people who met her. She was a lovely doggo, as crazy as any other husky, but she had a lovely nature. I'm moved now. I hope she isn't lost and lonely. Now I'm gone. Wait, I hope she isn't lost and lonely. Now I'm gone. Is he referring to himself?
Yes, because he moved. And so maybe the
Right.
dog's like trapped.
I get you.
That's really sad, and I'm sorry for your loss,
Yeah.
Zanky. That's really, really sad.
That is sad.
Oh, that would make me feel better though too. That's a really cute response. Like, oh, I'm glad they're still around.
Yeah, there's something still there.
Wibblewonk. What a name. I think I was 5 or 6 years old and was alone in the bath when I saw an older man sitting on the closed toilet lid, facing me in the bathtub. Not a good time.
Well,
What?
that's-
I jumped out and ran downstairs to my mom, sobbing my eyes out. I told her what he looked like, and the next day she took me to my grandmother's house and showed me the wall with all the family photos on it, and I immediately pointed out my great-grandfather's picture. I never met the man. He died way before I was born. Ever since then, me and my mother have been sure that it was my great-grandfather visiting us for some unknown reason, but he chose bath time?
He chose bath time, and you know what? I'm really happy that they classified closed toilet lid.
Oh man,
because,
man. Because imagine if it was...
It's just like, I'm so sorry to have to come to you during this time,
Yeah.
but
Like,
but
the
I desperately need to do this right now.
The unfortunate part about being a ghost is that like, hey, you actually can visit your relatives. Oh, really? Hold on, I just go to the bathroom real quick. Not now!
Alexis12 says, the other night I'm asleep in my apartment. I hear my front door open, but just figure it's my sister coming over to crash on my couch because she got in a fight with her boyfriend. Happens sort of regularly. She's the only one with a key to my apartment. I heard her moving around and figured she was just getting settled and making something to eat. I go back to sleep and think nothing of it. Wake up the next morning for work and she's not there. Weird, since it was 5 a.m., so I text and I ask if she came over. She says no. I check my doors and the door to the outside I rarely use was left unlocked. And now there's an edit here, guys. Nothing was stolen either, but maybe because all of my electronics I have sitting out aren't worth much of anything.
That's like why I religiously double lock my doors, but then double check before I go to bed. Like, that's like...
Well, doesn't he says here though, I check my doors and the door's outside.
Wait.
I rarely, the door outside was left unlocked.
Yeah.
Got you, okay.
I mean, I've heard stories of like people being like super drunk or something and then accidentally walking into the wrong house and being like, wait, no, this isn't my house, damn it.
Yeah.
Like there was a video on TikTok where this guy was like, dude, this is the wrong house, and there's like a drunk guy on his couch being like, no, this is my house.
Well, I actually, you know, and I wasn't actually drunk at this time, but going to a party.
Oh no.
Me and my friends just walked into the wrong home. The door was
that's
open.
so awkward.
The thing is that
why do people leave their doors open?
The door was open, and there was actually shoes at the front. So we were like, oh, this is the place. Took our shoes off, walked in, and it was like a family sitting around having like KFC or something.
That stresses me out.
I was like, is this the party?
That stresses me out.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Great Con 7 commented, I actually remember reading a story on Ask Reddit when I first joined around 5 years back. The thread itself might have been even older, I don't know. But it really creeps me out. I'm hoping someone can remember and link it because I still haven't found it after a lot of researching. So basically, a family was on a road trip and they were driving on a countryside road at night when they saw a person with a broken car signaling them to stop. That's a bad sign right there. Don't do that, especially at night. But the dad who was driving had a gut feeling something was wrong and kept driving. There you go. Thank you, man. After they drove away from the scene, the kids or the wife, not sure, looked back and saw a group of people rising from the field where they were hiding. The thought of what might have happened if they stopped was terrifying. That is terrifying. I'm so glad that dad did not stop. Even I, reading this, I knew something bad was gonna happen. So clearly that was just a whole plot. That this man was like, oh, come help me, my car is broken down. And then they stop and people jump them or take their car or who knows. There was a woman on Reddit who posted a bunch of recordings of her sleeping, but then realized, thanks to comments, that someone was watching her in her sleep. No, that is my worst nightmare. Oh my God. She got tipped off by the sounds of something clicking and then later someone talking to her while she was sleeping. That is so creepy. So like, was somebody breaking into her apartment and just like breathing over her and watching her sleeping or what? But I heard this story before and I listened to the recording and it's absolutely terrifying. Thank God that somebody commented that, hey, you may have someone breaking into your house watching you sleep. Because that was actually the case. So far, these Reddit posts seem to be useful. Don't stop in the middle of the night, somebody signaling down your car. And maybe have a sleep app to see if somebody is, entering your house and sneaking around while you're sleeping. About a group of campers who were camping in a mountain area. They heard a noise in the distance. They described it as an animal dying? Ugh. It went on for a few hours, this moaning/wail. In the morning, they all left, and later on during the week/day, they heard a news story about 2 hikers who had gone missing in the area they were camping. They both fell off a cliff. One died on impact, while the other stayed alive for hours and then later died. They think the moaning was the second hiker who was still alive. I literally got chills. I want to cry. That is so sad. Like, they're just camping, and they're like, wow, that's the sound of an animal dying. No, you literally heard the last couple of hours of this woman, or this person. The guy who tried heroin for the first time and told everyone he was going to do it again and just did it because he was bored. Called everyone an idiot for telling him he was going to get addicted, then a month later posted about how he was addicted and started shooting up. It was very sad. Updated posts for a few years, and I believe last I knew he was clean. But he went from a good job to homeless addict, and the whole thing was documented. Oh my God, that hit me too. That is hard. Like, literally everyone was telling him, no, you're gonna get addicted. He's like, psh, no, I'm not. And then he literally did and documented it all. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Afraid of Velcro commented. First of all, afraid of Velcro? Really? Anyways. I can't find it, but it was on a thread asking everyone to confess their secrets. Oh, I don't like this already. What did this person do? One guy wrote about how his job was to do the safety checks. Oh my God, I already know this is gonna be bad. And math for trains that transport very dangerous chemicals. He said that he's heard voices for years and they're always telling him he should intentionally make mistakes and let people die from his mistakes. And he learned whenever the voices went quiet to recheck his work. Every single time they went quiet, he'd made a mistake, and people probably would have been killed if he hadn't rechecked. He was too afraid to tell anyone about the voices because he would lose his job. And he was also afraid of losing that internal warning. My description doesn't do it justice, but it was sad and terrifying all at once. Oh my god, that was a lot to take in. Are you kidding me? So this guy literally has like demonic voices in his head, like, yes, kill the people, mess up the chemicals, right? Thank God he doesn't listen to them. But it's so weird how all of a sudden they go quiet and he's like, oh snap, I think I appeased the demons. I need to go back and check my work. And every time he goes back and checks, he was right. He would have killed people. Afraid of Velcro? No. I'm afraid of this mano. This one is from Disposable Elaine. My grandma told me that after her husband died, if she left the bedroom door open when she slept, she had dreams that he was coming into her bedroom, but when she shut the door, the dreams went away. Shortly before she died, she told me, now he comes in even when the door is shut. What does that even mean? Was her husband haunting her? Did she kill her husband and that's why he's haunting her? Just saying. Maybe that's why. Now he comes in even when the door is shut. Maybe he's coming in to retrieve her. Like your time is up kind of thing. Retrieving her and taking her to the afterlife with him. Unless he had sinister intentions and, she's a murderer and he's coming back for revenge. Just saying. This is from The Painted Door. I was camping with friends. It was early in the season and we were the only ones in that section of the park. One morning, I stayed in my sleeping bag in the tent while everyone else went to the facilities, which were a bit of a walk away. I dozed off again. I was awoken by someone grabbing my foot through the tent. Lord help me, no thank you. I was groggy and assumed it was a friend playing a joke and kicked and said, my foot was grabbed again and pulled, and I kicked again pretty hard, not afraid to kick my friend who was now pissing me off. He stopped and I dozed off again. I woke up again probably less than half an hour later and heard my friends in the distance, returning. When they got back, I asked them who was the one trying to wake me up. They had no idea what I was talking about, honestly. I told them about something grabbing my foot through the tent, and they thought I was trying to tell a story to scare them. I still have no idea what it was. It wasn't even dark out at the time. You are lucky. The fact that you could kick away this, it could have been a creature like a Sasquatch, just saying. Could have been a Sasquatch trying to grab you. Or it could have been a killer trying to grab you and take you. Or a kidnapper trying to grab you and take you. The fact that you just kick them away like that, you're lucky. Also, if people do that to me when I'm sleeping, I automatically open my eyes to see what's up. I'm super cautious. I'm like, bam, who's in my room, But this person just was sleeping and was like, can you just stop? Can you just F off, please? You're really bothering me. I'm trying to sleep. And the person was like, damn, okay, I'll go take a look at the other tent. Okay, I'll go kidnap somebody else. Jeez. This is from Nixie9. Once I was alone in the house and heard an elderly lady say, hello, in a crackly voice. That was my old lady crackly voice. I froze, freaked out a bit, but then manned up and gave my own crackly hello back, only to hear the same voice again. Long story short, turns out the cat I was babysitting for my friend can mimic human speech. Who the cats could do that? Is it a demon cat? Because cats can't do that. Cats can't do that. They're not parrots. If you had a parrot, I'd be like, okay, it's just the bird. But a freaking cat speaking back to you? That's creepy, but also really funny. Imagine you're babysitting a cat and you're like, excuse me, you didn't tell me that your cat talks, okay? That was not in the babysitting contract. Take your cat back. It's a human that got transformed into a cat. This is from Captain Kershaw. I spoke to the ghost of my great-grandmother on the telephone. Whoa, that's a good opening line. I didn't recognize her voice because she had died over 60 years before I was born. But a very elderly sounding lady called and calmly told me to tell Essie it is time to come home now. I kept telling her she had the wrong number, but she was adamant that I pass along the message. 2 hours later, my grandmother's assisted living home called and told us that my grandmother, Esther, had passed away in her sleep. Her mother had died when she was 16 and Essie was my grandmother's childhood nickname. This was 25 years ago, and thinking about it still makes the hair on my neck stand on end. Wow. I am mind blown. Your grandmother literally called you. You were right. I don't even know what to say. She literally... Oh, it was the grandmother who's telling them. That is heavy stuff. That is insane. Your great-grandmother was like, come to me, my child, come. That is so sad. This is from Souvois. I'm not even gonna say that. I think I'm saying their name wrong. Anyway, I saw a confession to a murder. Oh my god, he lived in Hamilton, Ontario or Kitchener, Ontario. Oh, that's a little close. Then fled to Buffalo, New York. Before he fled, he wrote out what he was thinking prior to anyone knowing he murdered his girlfriend. By the time I read his post, he was wanted for murder. It was really sick reading his confession written right after such a horrific crime, as he tried to rationalize it to himself and the broader Reddit community. I bet that would have been hard to read, like you said. Oh man, what gets me is that sometimes killers, like Joe Goldberg from You, think that their killings are rationalized, that they did it for a specific reason. In this case, I don't know what it was, but on the show You know, he thinks he's doing it to protect his girlfriend. Spoiler alert. But seriously, it's a common thing for murderers that they literally think that like they're helping out society, they're getting rid of, you know, sinners or whatever this person's reason was. It's crazy.
This is from Hannah Ryan 19. My mother told me this not too long ago, but it happened about 10 years ago now.
When my cousin was 17 or 18 years old, she was in a car crash and had died a couple of weeks later in hospital. Oof, morbid. She was really close to my dad's sister, our aunt, and used to babysit her kids who were no more older than 4 years old at the time. Okay.
Our aunt's house was under construction just before she passed away, and it continued on after she passed away. One day, my aunt got a phone call while she was at work from one of the construction workers. It's like, whoa, complaining about a teenage girl who keeps showing up at the house and walking around, and that she shows up a number of times during the weeks, and it has been happening for a couple of weeks.
Okay. Before we continue, let's piece this together. She was in a car crash. She passed away a few weeks later. She babysitted her aunt's kids.
Yes.
And now we're seeing the ghost, or what we think maybe could be the ghost of somebody. My aunt asks for a description of the girl to see if she knows her from around the neighborhood, and sure enough, the description perfectly matches my cousin who died a few weeks before. Long brown hair, red baseball cap.
When my aunt got home, she showed them a picture of my cousin, and that all agreed that it was the girl they'd seen walking around the site. This story really freaked me out, oh crap, when I heard it, because our family was never one to believe in anything paranormal or have anything of the paranormal sort happen to them before. I love when people are like, here's a scary story, but you should believe me because I don't believe it.
Because I've never believed this stuff before, so that makes me credible.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my one thing about this is like, I'm just like kind of confused at like how this went about, and also too, like, we're mentioning about construction workers. Like, does that have anything to do with the story?
The car crash?
Oh. Ooh. Whoa. Okay, so guys, this one is from Deleted.
Whoa.
8 years ago, Deleted posted a Reddit post saying, my grandmother swore by this story till her dying day. It was during the war in London and my dad was a baby. Okay, she was bombed out of her house and was staying with a friend. The friend had set her up in a room on the top floor.
Anyway, she was taking my dad upstairs to bed when a figure materialized on the stairs, telling her not to sleep in that room tonight. Okay, it's gonna happen. There's gonna be a bomb, and it's gonna be a thing.
Okay.
She noped back downstairs and told her friend that she and my dad were sleeping in the sitting room that night. Her friend was annoyed but agreed.
That night, a bomb exploded near the house and the roof caved in right on top of my dad's cot. He would have been killed. Wow.
Yeah, that's good storytelling.
You nailed it. You absolutely nailed it.
Who was that creepy dude?
Yeah,
Not so creepy.
Also, I think like my favorite part about this is that now I will be using the term noped.
Yeah, noped.
You know? I'm just like absolutely noping that story.
That's an adverb.
Yeah. Arthur C. 8 years ago said, okay, so this happened to me last summer when I was back at my parents' house during the holidays. It was around 3 a.m. and I was in my room on my computer, probably doing something he wasn't supposed to, when I got a call from my sister.
Now that was already a little bit weird since my sister's room is just down the hallway from mine and she could have just came in my room. I went to pick up and the call ended as soon as I reached the phone.
I figured that she wanted to speak with me, so I got up and went to her room. As soon as I reached her door, she started screaming that someone was in the room with her, so I busted in and of course nobody was there.
It's a heroic brother right there.
Yeah.
After she stopped crying, she told me that she woke up and saw a dark shadow just centimeters from her face. And that's when she screamed, no! I hate that.
You just
I hate
noped
that.
it. You
I
just
hate
noped
that.
it.
I hate that. I hate that.
So I told her that she called me. She tells me that her phone is not in her room and that she was sleeping. Sure enough, her phone is actually downstairs in her purse. The weird part though is that I have the log of her call on my phone, but she doesn't. Never managed to explain this one.
I'm skeptical of this story, first and foremost because what teenage girl has her phone downstairs in her purse?
You know what? That is a good point. That is a good point. I also want to point out this was 8 years ago. Were we still in flip phones 8 years ago? I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. This is close. Maybe this could be like iPhone 3 era or something.
The QWERTY one.
Like Blackberries or
But
something.
even then, I had mine in my room, like beside mine.
Yeah.
Like texting my friends, like, oh my god.
Okay. I'm not sure, guys. Don't know about that
I
one.
don't know about this one. I love my kids, and I'm told I'm a pretty good dad, and sometimes I enjoy it, but most of the time it's just draining. The honesty, wow. Okay, here.
I understand that there are people out there who enjoy spending time with kids. Uh-oh, we're going down a deep rabbit hole, guys.
This is getting dark.
Who enjoy spending time with their kids. Just like there are people who enjoy talking to strangers, and suffice it to say, I'm just not one of them.
Is that it?
That's it, guys. I mean,
Did we just read a Father's Day
you know what?
confession?
I'll be honest. Okay, let's look at the title of this video. Dark Reddit confessions that should have been kept a secret. That's probably something that you don't want to post on the internet, bro.
I mean, if it was anonymous, some people, parenting is hard. I don't know how my parents did it.
Yeah.
I hope they had an
I mean, I was an absolute nightmare. So
I was an
respect,
angel.
mother. Respect.
I was
Maybe that was about me. No.
Sorry to break it to you, it could have been.
Rich Traitor 9 years ago says, not mine, but my whole family's.
Oh, I love the ownership there.
Okay.
My dad got rich by associating with a scumbag that has his own construction company. Oof, rough. Scumbag bribes city officials to approve unstable skyscrapers that would collapse with a 4.0 earthquake, and my dad makes all the paperwork discreetly.
Well, this is bad. In exchange, multimillionaire scumbag persuades his other loaded friends to hire my dad as their lawyer. I'm now trying to get into office in the next 30 years to revert most of what my family has contributed to.
I'm sorry you were born into an evil family.
Wow.
Wow. The next 30 years.
You know what? It's like literally stuff like, okay, and the thing is, we don't know how true is this? We don't know. But stuff like this makes me think, because I live in a freaking high rise that has like 23 floors.
He's probably talking about your building.
Well, I mean, but he could be, you know what I mean? And it's like, how many times, if something like this has happened, how many times has it happened in like other places by other scumbags?
Seriously.
I'm assuming that there's not only one exclusive construction scumbag.
Yeah, no, seriously, absolutely. I think the movie was it Towering Inferno.
I'll
There's
believe
like a
you.
building that like set on fire and people were like jumping.
Wow.
I'm not scared of heights, but I'm kind of scared of skyscrapers.
That got very dark, right? Like my experience, are you referring to my building that's gonna light on fire?
I'm talking about a fictional movie.
Just a generic. Okay.
What? Oh, it's gonna be fun. Next one, we have Feline of the Sea. Very romantic name, I will say. After graduating from high school, congrats, I went to a small out-of-state college where no one from high school knew me. Good for you.
I get it. It's a catfish.
No, stop.
Feline of the sea.
Oh!
Right? That just clicked.
I was told many times how impressive my false Australian accent was, so I decided it would be great fun to go through college pretending to be from Australia.
All my friends and even my girlfriend of 2 years think I'm Australian. I have a completely fake Australian identity, family, and past. What? I will soon be graduating and I plan on asking the girl to marry me. Everything she knows about me is Australian. I don't even know how to tell her she doesn't really know me. Guess I'm forever a bloke.
You have to tell her.
Well,
oh my god.
Okay, but no wonder his name is Feline of the Sea as a
He's a
catfish.
catfish.
He's a literal in-person
Yeah.
catfish.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, what's that Australian mermaid show? Claire! No,
I've never
it's
heard of
fine.
that
It's a
before.
TikTok. It's like, I can't remember, it was like mermaids. I don't know. If you know what it is,
If you know, you know.
Say in the comments because we can connect. You know what I'm thinking about.
Sadly, if you don't know what she's talking about, comment it down below.
Yeah,
we
just
can
either
connect.
way, comment, like, subscribe. Let's do the call
do
to
the whole
action
thing.
now.
Yes, this is throwaway.
23.
Okay.
IT guy here. It's amazing what people will do on their computers and say in their emails despite having to sign a waiver that all computer activity at work is monitored and recorded. I have half the company's banking, social media, and personal email accounts, info, and passwords. I know who is secretly at the office behind their spouse's back. I know who is cybering at work and bathroom almost daily.
Wow, that's a lot. At least they tell their chat partner they're running off to the bathroom to. Haven't felt the need to check the validity of that one. I know when people are having marital problems, financial problems. I even know one person here had their children taken away because a social worker found in their house. Wow. I know who is embezzling money. I know when people get fired for completely nonsense reasons, and I know who my boss is buying from. What is this company?
I don't know. Who is this guy? He's like freaking Gossip Girl.
Literally.
Basically, I have a treasure trove of my coworkers' secrets. I won't actively do anything with this info, but it's nice knowing I have the ammunition there if something were to ever happen.
Yeah, you have like an absolute like nuclear weapon right there, dude.
And this is why you should always be friends with the IT guy.
Yeah, yes. Actually, yes. Yes. This is crazy. This is like Wolf of Wall Street stuff right here.
Yeah.
We got like serious drugs,
Yep.
marital affairs,
Swear words.
washrooms, jerks regularly.
Jerks. Yep. Jerks all over the place.
Just
a
jerks.
bunch of jerks.
Just a bunch of jerks.
Just a bunch of jerks.
Jerks doing jerk stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty good on my computer, but like imagine if somebody like I feel like if somebody were to do it, they would just magically find like crazy things. I'm like, that wasn't me.
This is, there's a lot of subtext going on here, guys. I think we gotta check Rachel's computer.
No,
Comment
we don't.
down below if you want to know what Rachel's
No,
been searching.
we don't.
Tom Gold account. I cut off all contact with everyone I know and moved to Kenya. I tell people a fake name and a fake background, and I have made it appear to my family that I died on a boat trip in the Pacific. No, I am not joking. I am dead in the United States.
I'm impressed.
I guess if he pulled it off, like, for what purpose?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think in this day and age, if you can pull that off, that's
Like,
pretty impressive.
Really convince everyone, your whole family, your friends, your work, everybody, you're dead. But why?
Yeah, but why?
You know, like,
I mean,
why?
well, you know what? He could just like not like his family in the U.S.
That's true.
You know, there could be people on the subway he just never wants to run into again.
Yeah.
You know?
Honestly, maybe he worked at the company of the IT guy. Dirt was found.
And knows about the dirt. Oh.
And he had to get out of there.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
could be a thing. Honestly,
I think we all
good-
really would.
Good for you, Tom, but I want to know what you're hiding.
I want to know what you're hiding. I want to know who you really are.
Who are you, Tom?
Who are you, Tom?
Tell me.
Tell me.
Buddy of mine hit it off with this girl, and after a few days, she invited him over to a house party. Sure, he says, what could go wrong? He shows up and is introduced to a few of her friends, all guys. As the night carries on, more and more guys show up, and very few girls are actually at the party. This is weird. After they start talking about how they all know this girl, they find out that she invited them all from Tinder. Every guy was there not to hook up, but to populate this chick's birthday party. What? I'm just confused. This doesn't even make sense to me. So she just invited every guy she basically matched with on Tinder? That would be like the most awkward first date ever. That should be like a dating show, a reality dating show. Everyone you match with on Tinder in the room at one time. The chaos. My friend got a hold of my phone, popped open Twitter, and switched me from looking for girls to men only. Then he swiped right a lot of times, and I got a lot of matches. Hundreds of matches. Hey, that says a lot about you though. I have no idea how long this dude spent swiping right, but my Tinder was blowing up with messages from dudes in Chicago. It would have taken forever to unmatch them all, so I deleted my account. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good prank. It's just funny. It's innocent fun, like probably very annoying for you, but also the guys match with you. So like kind of a compliment, no? If I did that but opposite and girls matched with me and they thought I was hot, I'd be flattered. This is a compliment, my dude. Not me, but happened to a friend. Went out on a first date with a guy she met on Tinder. He seemed normal enough and she was open to another date. They always start normal. About a week after the first date, he texts her a photo he drew of her that sure enough looked like her and was a copy of one of her photos on Tinder, except he drew with a wooden leg. She does not have a wooden leg. This is so weird. And then when looking closer, he had written #1 proctologist and bum in hidden places in the drawing. She's not a proctologist. Yo, this is just creepy. This is more than just weird or normal. I am getting creepy freaking vibes. I honestly think I'd be a little weirded out if after even a second date they drew a picture of me. I don't know. Nope. I feel like we're gonna see him in a true crime documentary one day. And I'll be watching. This is why you don't have Tinder, y'all. I don't have Tinder, never have, and this is why. Alright, someone wrote, went on a date after talking to this guy for a few weeks and I told him I was thinking of getting my nose pierced. But I was afraid it would hurt. It doesn't hurt. Do it. We are walking through a park in broad daylight and this dude takes a safety pin. What? He takes a safety pin out of his pocket and jams it through his nostril? Blood pours down his face. He laughs and says, see? No big deal. Huge deal. Are you kidding? That is not normal behavior and we are not going to normalize that is normal behavior, okay? That is freaking crazy. No, not to mention I just feel like jamming a safety pin is way worse than having like a professional use a real, anyways. I don't even know why I'm trying to explain this. No. One guy kept joking. He would use chloroform on me and made me super uncomfortable. Well, naturally. Then he went on to say women who wore makeup give him trust issues. The next day he messaged me saying if I lost 10 pounds I'd be worth a bang. Maybe not scary but definitely rude. Like you're being generous with just saying that that's like rude. No, that is absolutely insane and beyond rude and freaking creepy. I don't know who is out there making jokes about using chloroform on people, but you should be locked up. People like that shouldn't be allowed on the internet. My friend, bless her heart, she's got so many Tinder stories. Once a guy wanted to bring his mom on the first date. God, no. I would rather do anything else than be on that date. Another bragged about stealing money from his kid's sister's piggy bank, and yet my friend still had to pay for his dinner. Another was a guy on house arrest. There's clue #1 right there. Who after a few times hanging out turned into a total monster and would not stop harassing me and basically verbally abusing her. Oh, harassing her. I just put myself in this story thinking it was me. She ended up blocking him. I love her, but I worry about her sometimes. You guys, Tinder is not a joke. I worry about my friends all the times. I have a girlfriend, okay? She likes to date around sometimes, meet new people, you know? But every time she goes, she sends me their address and their name and their social media handles. And I make her text you when she's there, when she's home. I don't trust nobody. I watch true crime documentaries every single day, okay? I have trust issues with the world. En route to the worst date ever, this guy texted me from the burrito place we were meeting to tell me he'd already ordered me the salad. Salad? I repeat, salad? At a burrito place? Also, was this the past? Was I now incapable of placing my own food order? Anyways, after arriving with my salad ready beside his plate of tacos, he spent the next half hour telling me about his model ex-girlfriend and how passionate their breakup intimacy had been last weekend. The final straw was, even after telling him I wasn't a big fan of smoking, he literally asked a stranger for cigarettes and then chain smoked them beside me. Whoa. There's a lot of red flags from on the way. Honestly, I might have just turned around if some guy ordered me a friggin' salad at a burrito spot. What? If I'm going out to eat anywhere, I'm not buying salad. I can make salad at home. It's practically grass. I would be insulted, in all honesty. A salad? Burritos! Alright, I had been on a couple of dates with this girl that I met on Tinder and learned that she was really into the rockabilly scene. I found out that a local nightclub was hosting a rockabilly themed night, so I took her. She had dressed to the nines and we were having a great time in the club. Suddenly, this guy accidentally tipped a drink on her 50 styles dress. The guy apologized profusely. She storms over to grab her coat and bag, and on the way out, she just punches the guy in the face. I like her. Everyone in the club was shocked. I took her outside and told her she couldn't react like that, and that is when she took her heel off and hit me square in the face for siding with the guy. Blood everywhere. I never answered her call after that. Rightfully so. Listen, I'm making jokes that I like her, but listen, I will tell you when a girl is crazy, and she is crazy. Accidents happen. The guy said sorry. Absolutely, you do not punch them in the face. It's wrong, but it's also slightly funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. People are gonna hate. It's not funny. You shouldn't punch people, but like, maybe. Finally started seeing a girl off Tinder. It was going well for about 2 weeks and thought she was pretty cool. Things then started getting weird. She used to always talk about ending my life. I thought it was okay the first few times, but then it got annoying. I told her to stop and she kept doing it. I don't know if it was because she thought it was funny that it freaked me out or what. Anyways, told me she has a, oh my god, I can't even say it. Told me she has a weapon. I'll do sound effects. In her room. Yikes. Long story short, I told her I didn't want to see her anymore. She didn't like that. For the next 3 weeks, she was absolutely hounding me, calls me constantly, shows up at my work, keeps coming to my apartment. She actually knocked on my door for 30 minutes. When I didn't answer, she went around and knocked on my window. Bro, I am just waiting for the part where you say that you called the police and put a restraining order on this person. Like, you're doing too much with the story. I would have done it from day one. Hello. Y'all need to watch some more true crime. You will pick up on these flags and you will protect yourself. Not mine, but my brother's. He lives at home with my mother still. Okay. That's just a random piece of information. So my brother met a chick on Tinder, took her out on a date, ended up bringing her home for the night. And that was that. A few weeks later, my mother went to the backyard and noticed the door to her camper was open. There was a bunch of clothes and a pair of fake Ugg boots that belonged to this chick. Turns out, what? She had been sneaking into the camper at night and sleeping there and doing illegal substances. My brother had no idea of this and my mom called the cops immediately, and turns out the chick had a warrant. Stop. The chick had a warrant out for her arrest. She is still in jail. Oh my god. This is not even funny. This should be a movie. This is a movie plot, y'all. I would play her. Honestly, sign me up. Give me the role. The story is just too crazy to even think that it's true and someone went through that. But I will play the part. That'd be fun. I started talking to this really sweet guy for about 2 weeks and things were going well. Then I started getting calls from this girl who he claimed was his crazy roommate that was in love with him and kept trying to get him fired from jobs. Turns out she wasn't the one lying. She was actually, she was actually his live-in girlfriend and they had moved here together from a different state. Apparently he wasn't actually a citizen and was trying to obtain papers. Thanks, Tinder. What a mess. What a freaking mess. You do not want to be involved in that situation. This is why I've never had Tinder and I'm proud to say I haven't. Last one. My buddy is not the smartest man. Wow. That's bold. He picked a chick up and drove to a motel. Oh Jesus. Okay. All right. That is bold. They were walking into the room and she says, oh shoot, I forgot my purse in the car. Do you mind if I go grab it? He says, yeah, that's fine, and tosses her the keys. 5 minutes later, he walks outside wondering where she is and the car is gone. Oh my god. Edit, for clarification, yes, he got his car back. I think the police found it about a week later. I don't think she was ever caught though. If you are in Baltimore swiping, don't let her near your keys. Can you imagine going, first of all, motel, y'all are sketch, okay? You kind of deserve it a little bit. That's freaking sketchy. But imagine going on a first date and your car gets stolen by your date. There's a movie plot.